Well, hello, it's Jan again. I'm going to talk today about rackets, and rackets is something that we learnt about at the Landmark Forum again. All these things are coming back to me. I've just been revisiting this amazing course that I did. I could highly recommend it, and a lot of people think it's a cult and that it's brainwashing. But if you're brainwashing crap out of your head, it's no bad thing. Similar to actually the Empower Network. A lot of people have said that about Empower, that it's brainwashing culture. Well, as I said before, if it's washing out rubbish out of our heads and negativity, then what's wrong with that? That's what I want to say. It's all about helping people, and it's about creating amazing lives. Both of the above things. I'm just going to open this window. There you go, a bit more light on the subject now, so hopefully that's a bit better. So what is a racket? Well, a racket is a bit more complicated than some of the other things I've talked about, and it's to do with a persistent complaint that we have in our lives. If it's our husband is always this, or our wife is always that, or our boss is always something, it's usually a persistent thing like that, which we're always complaining about, and there's always a cost to it, and there's always a payoff to it. Why would we always have a consistent complaint? There must be a payoff, and 9 times out of 10 is because we're making ourselves right, or the other person wrong, or even sometimes making ourselves wrong. Oh, the yawn has come again. It's always to do with going back to, if you see my previous post on making someone wrong, or making ourselves right. I'm trying to think of a great example. If something stupid like my husband never fills the water jug up, the water filter up, should I say, and you could say that drives me mad. I'm always asking him to fill it up and he never does. It's a consistent complaint, a persistent complaint, but I'm making him wrong for not doing that, and I'm making myself right by saying you should do that. That's the payoff, and it's a ridiculous payoff. If you've got a friend who doesn't share stuff with you, then, and you complain about it, then again you're making yourself right and them wrong. Just be aware of what your payoff is, but also there's a cost to it, and the cost to it is usually far more important than the cost, or far more severe. Like, basically you could lose the love of the person. I mean, in some cases, my case is that for that one is a silly one, but it could be something where you've cut yourself off from your whole family, or a particular member of the family, because of your complaint about them. And your payoff is that you're right about the situation. Oh, they shouldn't have done this, therefore I'm not going to speak to them anymore. They were wrong. That was your payoff. But the cost is that you've lost a family member or a good friend because of what you're doing, what you've said. Your payoff of the racket is not, well, at the time it is outweighing the cost, but you don't realise the cost. Think about what's more important. Is it the friend back, the love for your friend, or is it more important that you're right? Which is really more important? It's quite a complicated concept. Well, it's not actually, it's quite simple, but it's more complicated to try and explain it. So I will put some more writing on the blog post itself to try and explain it a little bit more fully. But if you have a basically persistent complaint, then it's probably a racket, and you need to address it. Whether you decide the payoff of being right is more important than the cost of whatever that is, that's up to you. But how important is being right, let's face it, at the end of the day. So I hope that's helped a little bit. I will write it in the blog post to try and explain more fully, but it's a big one. It's something that we do all the time. So if you're in that position, then just take a look at it and decide what's more important to you, the payoff or the cost. And I will talk to you again very soon about being unstoppable, which is another wonderful concept that we had in Landmark. Bye for now.